Hey everyone, Monica Bodirski here. How are you doing? You know, we all sabotage ourselves sometimes, so I thought I would make a video on compiling 5 ways that I've done this to myself. See if you don't resonate with those. I'm also going to offer a few suggestions on the ways I've found to stop doing that. Stay tuned. Welcome to Hey everyone, how are you doing? Yes, you're wondering? I did indeed. I have an undercut on both sides. Spring shearing time, Viking braid. How are you all doing? So, the 5 ways that I've sabotaged myself are probably fairly common to you. You don't necessarily need to be an artist or a spiritual practitioner, but I found in my experience as a university prof, as a life coach, as an artist, and a friend, and just someone who shares tarot and divination advice fairly frequently, you know what? I'm not alone. A lot of people do this. A lot of people, myself included. So, here are the 5 ways you might be sabotaging your creative and spiritual self, and a few suggestions, maybe an alternate way of handling these situations. Okay, well, let's get started. Number 1, giving up before you start and living a life of unfulfilled dreams and envy. Ouch. Yeah, that's a painful one. And I think a lot of people do it for a variety of reasons. Myself, I think, there's so much fear bundled in there, and time and money and the stories we tell ourselves that we just can't get to things. I've found the way to actually bypass that situation is to learn more about the thing through watching videos, taking classes, research, of course, reading books by experts and by peers in conversation, asking others if they've experienced this, of course, and finding a mentor, okay? Somebody who can help you walk through some of this. All right, so those are my suggestions for you. So you don't just give up before you even begin. It's just like, I could never do that. Do a little research first. Are you sure about that? If it's something that you're really not interested in, no harm, no foul, but give yourself a chance, okay? All right, number 2. This is another common one I find, and these points are all closely related. And as I said, these are a lot of my experience, but I found they're fairly common. This one is to confuse thinking about the thing you want to do a lot with doing the thing. You can put so much effort into dreaming and imagining that this thing is going to be real. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's kind of like can go on for years, and it is the ultimate procrastination, because what we have up here is safe. It always seems to work out perfectly, and it's safe. Did I say it's safe? Because it's safe. It's just another thing that risk-taking in art and spirituality for learning and probably any new thing that we want to do, it is frightening. And again, living in our heads is just a way to deal with that. I've known some people who live in their head so much they swear they've said things out loud, and they actually haven't. So, my suggestion there is as soon as you start thinking or dreaming about something, do it. Do something. Now, I know what you're saying. I'm dreaming of parachuting. No, I know you can't just jump out of a plane. What I'm talking about is realistically thinking about art. I'm going to get those art supplies. I'm going to learn how to paint. We're not going to even get into how art supplies and software won't get you there. Okay? But do something. Get out of your head and into your hands, as I've been told when I was learning how to do that. Get out of your head. Do anything. Journal. Pick up something. Scribble. Get into your hands. Because once you start getting into that habit, things will occur. You may get sick of doodling circles, but it might give you an idea for something you want to write. And it might give you insight into drawing. It might just give you insight into any creative problem solving. Now, I have been trained as a designer, and as such, we were trained as problem solvers. So I kind of learned to go through the steps of getting the moleskin. As I scan the room, I know it's here somewhere because, oh, here we go. I'm never too far away from it. Yeah, this is this month's sticker. Okay, chuckle away. It's just how labels on the side don't work, but the stickers stick, literally. So I have this filled not just with sketches, but, sometimes, thumbnail sketches. But often, as I look for words somewhere, there's lists of words because I'm brainstorming. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with art or creativity or even spirituality at times. They're things I'm trying to work through. Get out of your head and into your hands, okay? All right, number 3. Oh boy, this is a tough one. Having very unrealistic expectations of yourself. And, then you try something and then you don't live up to those expectations. Worse yet, you say you failed, and we just go away from that. We just walk away, put that back in the closet, and call ourselves names like silly for thinking we could do it, turn on YouTube and watch a 3-year-old do it, or better yet, an elephant who seems to be able to paint portraiture better than I can. Whatever the case may be. And that is really beating yourself up and setting yourself up for failure, because we need realistic goals and expectations. And now you're going to say, well, what are those? Well, I found it difficult at times, but I found peers to help with that. So people who've been doing things for about the same amount of time I have, who share the same interest, and you don't often get that on YouTube. You get the polished version. Well, not with me, goodness knows. But you are going to get that from other people who just make, their doodles look really simple and, it's just a single line and nonsense. Those people have rough sketches. They've been doing it for a while. They may have done 30 rough sketches before showing you that one effortless. It could be edited, okay? Don't judge yourself against those people unless you know how long they've been doing something. And even so, it comes easier for some than others. But at least you're not just learning how to write a song and saying if it's not Mozart, you suck. So try to keep your expectations within the realm of people who have about your experience level. Take the pressure off. Okay, number 4. Here we go. This is also an extension of that. You compare yourself to others, or the opposite of that, you live in a bubble. This is something I had students at the university I was teaching, which was an art and design university, do all the time, and I've done it too. Haven't we all? You either compare yourself to that portrait painting elephant, or Not at all. You live in a bubble. You don't want to know what anyone is doing because it makes you feel envious or uptight or like giving up. So you live in a complete and utter bubble and have no idea. That's not healthy. You need to see what others are doing. But again, this is where realistic expectations come into play. If you've only been trying for a few hours, try not to take it too seriously, but use it as a motivation, inspiration, and a goal. Work towards it then. Work towards it. And comparing yourself to people constantly, which is what social media does. And I know you're going to say, well, I shut that down. I don't. You know what? Try to find that middle ground. It's nice to know what others are doing, I find. It is also a source of inspiration. People are doing incredibly creative things, okay? So maybe stay away from those extremes and you'll find inspiration there instead of beating yourself up, okay? And number 5, oh boy, it's another one. Toxic narratives. You have the power to tell yourself whatever story you want. And as soon as you realize that, you might start to hear the toxic narratives in your own head telling you you're no good, you did something awful, why do you do this, why are you always, you shouldn't. Okay, we all have those thoughts, and from what I can tell, in passing, they are ways perhaps to keep us acting equitably and fairly to others. But if you get stuck in a loop of toxic narratives and you're always putting yourself down every time you start to try, you know the old saying, would you talk to your friend that way? Would you talk to someone you care about? Oh no, no. Why am I even doing this? I shouldn't try. I've done it. And then I wait a beat and then I say, really? Hang on. What are you saying that for? What are you really afraid of? What's going on? Are you afraid you're going to fail? Are you pulling out before you give it a try? Has somebody told you you suck? And if they have, why are they an expert in suckage? They're not, okay? You know, it's like critics and reviewers. Listen, I've been a fine artist. I've had my work put up in front of people and, occasionally some pretty harsh criticisms in the guise of constructive coming at me. And yeah, they kind of hurt until you realize to put up the armor and that you are the one who needs to judge your worth and be steady and centered and calm. Now, how does this all tie into spirituality? Well, because there's so many people who approach me asking about how to be intuitive or divine or learn tarot or any kind of spiritual activity of journeying, contacting ancestors, speaking to the dead. Yeah, okay, maybe I was born with a lot of this, but I have honed these skills through practice just like everything else, so all of these apply. Thank you so much for watching, and I forgot, as I often do, if you're enjoying these videos, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And thank you again. Have yourselves a wonderfully inspirational week, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye.